name is Deline Howell, and this is a Go Live on Social Media virtual protest. If the media won't cover it, we will. If the media refuses to tell you this, we will. I'm not an activist. I'm just a person with the ability to think critically and do research. I was a member of many Save Kids groups on Facebook, and they are being systematically deleted and censored. They out videos, pictures, and profiles of kids performing sexual acts or in sexually suggestive poses. There are conversations under pictures of children that talk about them sexually. Those are allowed to stay up while Facebook deletes Save Kids groups. They are reported many times, and the response that we get is that it doesn't go against Facebook's community standards. It's not just Facebook, it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the major social medias. You can easily find pedophilia, child porn, and children being discussed in a sexual manner. California recently passed a bill, SB 145, on August 31st, 2020. It leaves it up to the individual judges whether or not an offender has to register for the sex offender list. This applies to people that are within 10 years of age between the perpetrator and the victim. So if a victim is 10 years old and a 20-year-old rapes them, it is up to the judge whether or not that person has to register on the sex offender list. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement in 2018 arrested 1,382 people for sexual offenses. The Department of Homeland Security, according to the ICE website, in 2019 arrested 2,197 people in relation to human trafficking, and only 691 of those were convicted. In 2017, Fighting Online Sex Trafficking Act makes it illegal for tech companies to knowingly enable sex exploitation, but Facebook and other social medias are notified of these offenses constantly, and they remain up. Facebook and Instagram has 3 separate lawsuits towards them from underage survivors of sexual abuse. They claim Facebook and Instagram is enabling sex trafficking. These victims are between the ages of 13 and 16. According to www.humanrightsfirst.org, in 2017, there were $34 billion in construction, manufacturing, mining, and utilities, and $99 billion from the commercial sexual exploitation. According to the International Labour Organization, 1 million children are exploited each year in the commercial sex trade. According to National Criminal Justice Reference Services, which is a government site, 200,000 children are trafficked within this country each year. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, there were 26,300 runaways in 2019, and 4,383 of those were sex trafficking victims. The media does not report on any of this. Have you heard any of that before from your news? Journalists are no longer doing research and giving you the facts. So we have to do it ourselves. I would implore you to please look up these statistics yourself. Save Kids groups are being called conspiracy theorists, but do any of those facts sound like conspiracy to you? Netflix has a show on called Cuties. It's 11 to 14-year-olds twerking. Many people complained and they change the advertisement but not the content. Amazon has something called iPedophile. It is to induce sympathy for abusers. I created a group called Admins Coming Together because of the censorship and bias that is being done towards these groups on all social media platforms. These groups are losing all of their content and all of the information that they compile and all of their followers every time that they are deleted and have to start over. But yet the videos, pictures, and conversations of kids performing sexual acts or in sexually suggestive poses stay up. The media refuses to cover any of our protests. Did you hear of hundreds of people banging on the doors of CNN? Because it wasn't covered, they never even mentioned it. So it's up to us, people like you and me, to get these facts out there, because they're not telling us. If you added up all of the children that are killed, abused, and used in America, it is more than any other issue that we are facing, but yet it is not covered. Please don't let them manipulate you and keep you from the truth. Your children are in danger. My children are in danger. Your neighbor's children are in danger. There's a social media platform called Wimkin. Jason Shepard started it. He is openly against pedophilia, unlike these other platforms. There are groups there for people like you that want to know information and get it out there. Together we are stronger, and Leaders Coming Together are just a couple of the groups that you could join. We will not be silenced. We will not be silent. We will not be divided. We are the army and the voices for the voiceless. My name is Delene Howe, and this is a Go Live on Social Media virtual protest. If the media won't tell you these things, then we will. California just passed a bill called SB 145, where the judges decide whether or not a person who has sex with someone who is within 10 years of age has to register as a sex offender. It is no longer compulsory that they do so. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement made 1,382 arrests for sex offenses. The Department of Homeland Security made 2,197 arrests, with only 691 convictions. Facebook and Instagram currently has 3 separate lawsuits towards them from underage survivors of sexual abuse who claim that they are enabling sex trafficking. The victims are 13 to 16 years old. According to UNICEF.org, every 7 minutes, somewhere in the world, a child is killed by an act of violence. According to the International Labor Organization, 1 million children are exploited each year in the commercial sex trade. There is $34 billion in construction, manufacturing, mining, and utilities, but $99 billion from the commercial sexual exploitation of people. The media is telling you that this movement is made up of conspiracy theorists, but do any of the facts that I just told you sound like conspiracy? You are not being told the truth by media, and social media is censoring the people who are talking about this. Our children are being used and abused at an astronomical rate. It is a bigger problem than any problem we are facing today. Do not let the media or social media hide this from you. Your children are in danger. In August 2020, Trolls World Tour Giggle and Sing Poppy doll was pulled from the shelves after complaints because there was a button on the crotch of this doll, and when it was pushed, it giggled, laughed, oohed, and awed. LOL dolls, many of them, when dipped in cold water, reveal lingerie on these childlike dolls. Netflix is airing shows that show children, 11 to 14-year-olds, twerking for the camera and wearing clothes that look like stripper outfits. Amazon has put out a show called iPedophile to induce sympathy for the abusers. Pedophilia is starting to become mainstream, and the media will not cover it. If the media won't cover it, it is up to you and me and anyone else who can find these facts easily found to tell everyone. The only thing that the people against this movement are afraid of is everybody working together. Do not let their tactics of division stop you from finding the truth. There has been allegations of sexual abuse in cinema since Judy Garland. Since Judy Garland and Curly Sue. All these things are easily found with a quick Google search. And if you add up all the children that are used and abused in America, it overshadows any problem that we are having today, but it is not being covered. The media is not silent on this subject because of the children. They're silent on this subject because of who their customers are. I always learned to follow the money, and it's easily done with this issue as well. They are quietly passing laws that defend pedophilia. They are putting it in mainstream cinema. They are allowing it on social media platforms, and they won't even tell you about it. It's easily found on every platform. We will not be silenced. We will not be divided. We are the army and the voice for the voiceless. Please join us and find the truth for yourself. Do not let the media lie to you and deceive you and tell you things that don't matter when this is such a huge problem. Don't be manipulated. According to www.humanrightsfirst.org 2017, there was $34 billion in construction, manufacturing, mining, and utilities, but $99 billion from the commercial exploitation of people. According to USA Today, an international labor organization, there are 1 million children exploited each year in the commercial sex trade. According to the National Criminal Justice Reference Service, which is a government site, 200,000 children are trafficked within this country every year. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1 in 6 runaways, or 4,383 last year, were likely victims of sex trafficking. According to FBI statistics, 450 children are murdered by their parents every year. Please add this up. The amount of children that are trafficked, the amount of children that just disappear, the amount of children that are abused, and the amount of children that are abused and don't mention it. We are talking a lot of children. Our children are in danger. The media is telling you that this movement is made up of conspiracy theorists. Do the facts I just stated sound like conspiracy to you? Google it yourself. This problem, our child being used and abused, is bigger than any problem going on today. Don't let them manipulate you. Your children are in danger. Please go to WEMCAN and find the groups, Leaders Coming Together, Together We Are Stronger, and other Save Children groups. Join. Join the fight with us. We will not be silenced. We will not be divided. We will be the army and the voice for the voiceless. If the media won't cover this, we will.